so this is another thesis introduction that we want to look at. We want to go through it and review just like we've done for the others. So this one is maternal experience with labor at the University of Ghana Hospital, Accra. So let's look at the introduction. Should we go through it? So it started by pregnancy and delivery is a very important physiological event in a woman's life, which though unique for each woman significantly involves and impacts the physical, psychological and emotional self. So if you look at it at this statement at this place, we expected that there should have been a reference here. We all agree there should be a reference at this place. Now this pregnancy and delivery, I think this word, this pregnancy, it's not accepted. It's as if it's actually linking up with a certain thing that you have mentioned, and even if it is, it doesn't need to bring the this, because once there's a full stop to it, you cannot relate back to that statement. All right, yeah, rest.
I wanted to ask this thing yesterday, but I forgot. You see, whenever you say something, you say you need to reference, but sometimes you can see it's a person's own assumption, idea, right?
Yeah, when it is an idea, we will come across what it could be an idea. But when you are stating a statement of facts, you should have had something to prove that. Okay, yesterday we went through this, where we went and searched this thing, and we realized that this was not a person's idea. You remember that you should have cited the person. Hello? Yeah, you realize that the top, down, bottom, all of them were found in other people's statements. So you cannot just get up and tell us that what do you call it? Pregnancy and delivery involves physical events in woman's life, and then they significantly impact physical, psychological, and emotional self. Unless you have done some work and be able to tell us that this is it, or somebody has done some work and then he has come out with the fact that this is what the impact of pregnancy is.
So, something like pregnancy and delivery is a very important psychological event in women, in a woman's life.
Yeah.
It can't be somebody's side.
If you want to say it's a general knowledge, you see, in science you don't leave things for chance in most cases. So what we even normally say general knowledge, there are no fast rules on that, but they are very limited in scope. Okay, so for example, what is the capital of Accra? Greater Accra is Accra. You are getting it. It's common knowledge. You get the point I'm making. Nobody needs a research to be able to tell us that the capital of Greater Accra is what? Is Accra. Are you getting it? But these things, in actual fact, like you are saying, you see it like pregnancy and delivery is associated. That means you are able to find something that pregnancy and this thing is associated with. It's a statement of fact with physical strain and pain and psychological adjustment, and I think and vulnerability. You see, it's not something that you can just take it for statement of fact. Yeah, and that is referenced here, so that's why we don't have a problem. The problem we had was with this one. Okay. Pregnancy and childbirth claims the life of an estimated 500,000 of women globally each year.
Something you've done yourself by research. You can't, I think you can't be saying I.
Yeah, you can use we. If you look at the other one that we did, the first review that we did, the authors have written something. So they stated we. No, the I, the person. Are you getting it? Normally we want you to take out the personality things from it. So if it is a paper you have published already and you are the same person writing, if you published it alone, you can cite yourself using the name that was used in publish. Are you getting it? So as found in Esther et al. Or as found in Esther 2014. Are you getting it? Or a baseline study carried out. We are getting, when you are saying that a baseline study that have been carried out, you will not say a baseline study that I carried out. Are you getting it? Yeah. So a baseline study carried out
by
Are you getting it? By recital. Are you getting it? Reveal that.
Can you say the authors of this paper by the authors of
by the authors of this paper. That is the we.
We.
Yeah.
You say we.
Are you getting it? So even if you say the we, you cite that one. Like the first example that we did.
That in the current report.
Yes.
So you should cite
the previous one.
You were not referring to the thin paper, but again, like for instance, this maybe you interviewed some few pregnant women, and that is what they told.
This one is a baseline study.
Yes.
That is what I said, that you can say that a baseline study shows that. But if you are doing an introduction for a paper or for a work, even if you have done the work already and you are not doing the introduction should not include the results.
So you should.
Are you getting it? The introduction should not include the results of the current work. Yeah. So it is from results going, that is where we see the what you have found out from those places. So this is not a place to put out your results. But if it was something that was done prior to the work that you have done, that becomes more or less like you did a baseline study to find out this, because this introduction is actually supposed to tell us what you intend to actually do. It ends with what you intend to do. Are you getting it? Then after that, you move to the methodology that tells us how you want to do it. But when you are finished doing the work, it comes how you did it. And then the results you get becomes the results. And how do you interpret the results in relation to other works that have been done becomes the discussion. I hope it is clear. Alright, then let's continue. So pregnancy and childbirth claims the life of an estimated 500,000 women globally each year. Almost all, that's 99% of these deaths occur in developing countries where maternal disabling morbidities, and the morbidities have been listed, are also more common, and that is also cited. Now, so we are looking at structures. We are not just reading in relation to the topic. Maternal experience with childbirth and labor at the university hospital. So the person starts that by telling us about pregnancy and then the impact it have on women and all that. Okay, so that was the first paragraph that we have seen. So let's move on. When we say experience, that means it's more related to satisfaction. That is, if your experience was good, that means you'll be satisfied. If your experience was bad, that means that you will not be You will not be satisfied. So another title could have been client satisfaction. Are you getting it? With delivery at that place. Right. So let's move on. The maternal mortality ratio is an important measure of population level maternal health and is defined as the number of maternal deaths in a given time period per 100,000 live births during the same time period. To draw attention to maternal mortality and morbidity, the Millennium Development Goal 5 targeted a 75% reduction in the maternal mortality ratio by 2015. You reckon this was written prior to 2015, okay? And now we don't have Millennium Development Goal anymore. Okay, all right. What do we have?
Sustainable.
Yeah, we have sustainable development goals. Okay, all right. All right, let's continue. All right. Okay, let's continue. Among the many interventions recommended for safe maternal health, ensuring all women give birth with a skilled birth attendant in healthcare facility and access to emergency obstetric care are accepted to be the most crucial. So the person started with a structure telling us what the impact that pregnancy have with people, which include morbidity and mortality. And then he said majority of those happen in in the area in which the writer himself is. Then he comes now to tell us that among those things, we are saying that people attending to hospital, that is giving birth with what skilled attendants and the presence of an obstetric or obstetric emergency care, is one of the most crucial aspect for reducing the mortality that I experience with delivery. Hello. Yes. So people going into the hospital is important, and he has to justify why delivering at the hospital becomes important. So you can see the flow and the structure we are moving on to. So despite the various intervention to upscale of health facility assisted delivery, 41% of all births in Ghana, according to the recent demographic and health survey, occur at home unassisted. So again, this is a statement of fact. We expected that there should be a reference. But if you take that one out and you are looking at the structure in which the person is building, he has told you that delivering in the hospital is the most crucial. Now he's telling you that even though there have been a lot of programs to upscale that, 41% of births are still done with without assisted. That is, the people don't deliver at the facility. Hello. Can we get a flow from there? Good. Then, among the drivers of non-facility delivery in Ghana are poor attitudes of health workers and poor quality maternal care. Hello. So slowly he is linking up the topic to the story he's talking about. It's a storytelling. Just like our parents used to tell us the Kwekwa Nancy story. You see, don't just start with Kwekwa Nancy and then it ends. Are you getting me? You always start with Anansi Sensi so. Okay, then the story builds on. It doesn't just start and Kwekwa Nancy put the pot in his front and then he climbed up. Hello? So it's a storytelling. You should be able to craft it such that it follows. But in this case, you are telling a story, synthesizing facts from people's work and using it to tell the story. Right. So you can see there's a flow. As you follow, you can see the person is taking you somewhere. Alright, let's continue. So here, let's look at this one. So the person have made all these statements. He has told us that despite the upscale of delivery and all that, still in Ghana, a lot of things are not working. And then the driver for this is the fact that attitudes of health workers and then poor maternal care is what is the most important driver for people, whether people will deliver at the facility or not. Then he comes and say that in this context, so in the context with which he has already alluded to, studies on women perception of care received during labor, childbirth and lying in are very relevant given the accelerated effort towards increasing institutional delivery and improving quality of service with the long-term aim of bringing about appreciable reduction in maternal mortality. So this is a commentary on the facts that the person has already presented. This is the person's opinion. Are you getting this? He's drawing that in context. That if really there's a high rate of maternal birth, and we believe that people giving birth in the hospital is the most crucial aspect, and yet in Ghana we are still not making over 70%, and we have realized that it is the attitudes of health workers and poor quality of maternal care that is causing that. Then in this context, the woman's perception as to the care that he received at the facility is an important subject to deal with. So with this one, the person is actually making an analytical judgment on the facts that he has already presented. So this one does not really need any reference. Yeah, Dominic, you wanted to say something?
Sometimes when it's out of context, but make long sentences. Sometimes we seem to be losing the essence the value of the thing.
Yeah.
So as much as possible, let's avoid
very long sentence. Yeah, this particular writer this has a lot of long sentences.
Do you mean like when you are making your own input? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Not necessarily your own input. For writing, all that we are saying is that if the sentence becomes long and winding, it becomes difficult for people to get what you are saying.
And when you are quoting someone, you can always paraphrase.
Yeah. We are saying that a quoting is not verbatim. The next thing we're going to do is to try and see if we can check plagiarism. Okay. And then you'll be able to say, no, but I know it. Yeah. So the person has put the whole views that he has put in context. Are you getting me? So when somebody is putting something in context, you don't need the person to reference conceptually. He's conceptualizing what the information he has already provided. Hello? Alright. Okay, so this is linking up to the work that a person is doing. Now, such evidence would help determine aspects of care that women value most during childbirth to support demand generation and remove barriers in service delivery. Good. So there were a lot of things at the top there. Now he's linking it to his work. It is argued that understanding women's experience of care is critical as it contributes to the use of health service and perinatal outcomes. Giving birth is a complex event, and women as well as their families hold different views about childbearing, influenced by psychological conditions, knowledge, experience, belief systems, culture, and social and family background. Hello? Good. The performance and activities of the midwife is in this critical period. Sorry, I'm taking it again. The performance and activities of the midwife in this critical period might result in good outcomes for mom and baby, or death to mom, baby, or both, or physical disability to mom, baby, or both. Hello? Right. Do we think this one needs referencing? Let's read the statement again. The performance and activities of the midwife in this critical period might result in good outcome for mom and baby, or death to mom, baby, or both.
Yes.
Or physical disability to mom, baby, or both.
I think so.
Let's if we can further continue, because I don't think
it's ended. There's a full stop.
There's a full stop.
Full stop doesn't always
Stop.
I mean, but
now, what I'm saying is that why I could say this is a common knowledge is that he has actually listed all the possible outcomes for a birth.
And then he used might.
Yes, all the possible outcomes of births has been given out. So in this case, when somebody is going to give birth, due to the action of the midwife, the person may have the baby and the mom, a good outcome for the baby and the mom. Okay.
Which is general knowledge.
It's general knowledge. It could die to mom, or to the baby, or to both. Or they could be physical disability. Like we know common things, fistula and stuff. So it's like, I think he has covered all the possible ends that could happen. So this could be the common outcome that should come. Hello?
Do you agree?
But there are cases, I don't agree, because there are still exceptional cases that some women may pass through all these, but still they may come out successful.
So
if you come out successful, that is a good outcome for mom and baby.
What about others who don't pass through all this, but then?
How will you pass? What is the other possibility of going to give birth?
Maybe you
There are
see
still
that
exceptional cases on both
The
sides.
argument will come in if the attitude of the midwife is not the only factor that affects
he
the
said
outcome.
might. He's not saying entirely.
So the performance and activities, not attitude and activities of the midwife in this critical period might result in good outcomes for mom and baby, or death to mom, baby, or both, or physical disability to mom, baby, or both.
But it's not only the performance and activities that counts.
So the performance and activity of a midwife, do you agree that the performance and activity of the midwife can have an influence on this one? Yes.
But the performance
So you see,
are not the
when we are talking about common knowledge, it depends on the context of what is being presented. Are you getting it? It depends on this one is just like, what is the capital of, what do you call it? Greater Accra.
And this one, with regards to this one, it's common because it has to do with men, women, children, everyone knows. But then it's not everyone who experiences this.
No, if you go to
No, it's maternal.
It's not everyone who have this common knowledge. That's where I'm bringing my argument from. It's not everyone.
If you take a small girl and you tell the girl that the mother is going to give birth, what will the girl tell you? The mother will come home with the baby, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That means good outcome.
So what does it come with?
Hello. So in my opinion, because of the way the statement was couched and the fact that it covers every possible angle, are you getting it? You don't need a specific citation to say that this is the person that is bringing out this particular outcome. Okay, but it's rather a very general statement. Hello. It's a very general statement which you don't need a research citation to be able to know these are the outcomes for a mother that is going to give birth. Hello.
Hi.
Are you with me? All right.
So the argument is about
It's sustained.
Yeah, let's continue. So, in addition to this, the midwife care might considerably affect the psychological and emotional health of the mother and the baby. So you see, once he came for what? A specific ones, you see the citation for it.
But then, what about the other parts that have not been, there's no citation before going to the next one which was cited?
Yeah, what we are saying is that the way the first one was couched, it makes the statement a very general statement. Are you getting it? And is not a specific outcome. All the possible outcomes, are we getting it, were listed. So you don't need a reference to say it is the research of this work that have brought out this finding. Are you getting my argument? Yes, but when it came to specific outcomes, okay, when it came to the specific outcome, psychological and emotional health may be affected. That's where the safe rule comes in.
But we intentionally didn't cite the first statement.
Yeah, because the first statement was a general broad statement.
No, not that one. The very first part of this statement. You see, you made this psychological and emotional. Remember?
Yeah. But in this case, he is attributing this thing to a midwife's action. So it's, even though the same words have appeared, I don't see it to be repetitive. Hello. Yeah, in the context in which it has been used, I don't think it is repetitive. Okay. Let's continue.
Papa, go ahead. Okay,
Alright.
you can move to the next set. If only you wish.
Let's move on.
Then move to the next.
Now, a positive birth experience is associated with increased mother-child bonding. So you see, these are specific things. These are where the sales rules can come in. They say that a positive birth experience is associated with increased mother-child bonding, breastfeeding, and improved maternal ability, and contributes to her sense of accomplishment and self-esteem, leading to a better clinical outcome of her pregnancy and greater well-being, including psychological, in the postnatal period. Yeah, that's why I say this one. There is a lot of long sentence in this particular list. Yeah, yeah. Then he cites the people. No, when the sentences are too long, it makes reading a little bit boring.
You go read Philip, I don't go out.
Hello. Yes.
I'm enjoying it.
You are enjoying it. Okay, let's continue. Is it because you also have a lot of long sentences in yours? Okay.
You want to paraphrase. Would it be a crime if you remove some keywords intentionally?
No, if you get an idea, when we finish this, we're going to do paraphrasing itself a little bit. But when you finish, when you do you have an idea, you should be able to what do you call it? If the same idea you are picking up in your own words. In fact, the rule is that pick the idea, but write them in your own words.
Show them that you
So the grammar and then the
Yes.
syntax.
Yeah, but only that there are some words that when you change them,
It's
the idea will not be there anymore. Are you getting it? It's difficult to replace certain words.
like instead of something, there's no way I can change the word.
Maybe you rephrase it and then now use the voter regional capital. Yeah, so certain keywords are difficult to replace. But the whole thing is that take the idea but not the words. So what you are rather saying is a crime. That is exactly what we want you to rather to do. So that the writing becomes more like yours. Your write-up does not look just like the person's own.
First thing was the sentence, the paragraph, just omit some of the
Some of
words.
the words, like this psychological,
But the rest you maintain
emotional.
them.
Can you remove one, like maybe the emotional parts?
Okay.
One paragraph.
I understand you, but the person, yeah, you could have just joined them using one word or something. But I think what the person wants to do in this writer, he wants to show you the outcomes that, yeah, this thing can come. So it's more like listing the factors or the outcomes.
I
So
think
it was
emotional is very important in this context because everything about the woman,
how the person
What about
feels.
psychological?
that one too is very important.
You every word you mention is
Let's continue. So you want to list the things that positive birth outcome experience will give. Then in contrast, a negative birth experience leads to poorer postnatal psychological adjustment, which can make the mother feel distraught and have a negative impact on her mental health, increasing the risk of postpartum depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, and may also lead to a higher range of future abortion, preference for a cesarean section, more negative feeling towards the infant, and or breastfeeding problems. Hello.
Hi.
So you see, these are specific things he's bringing. You see, you are asking some of them things. You are saying, "Hey," so surely their statement of facts is actually pouring out, and we expect that there should be what reference citation. And you can see there are citations. So, like I told you, he might have picked these things from different places and trying to put them together. But like we are saying, it still make the sentence very long. You could have made the sentence shorter. Hello. Yeah, you could have made the sentence shorter. All right. let's continue. So that is where the statements end. So in terms of flow, we think that it was well done, isn't it? Yeah, from where the person started with the pregnancy and its impacts, and the fact that pregnancy can cause some of the disabling outcomes, including death, and the fact that people giving up birth in facilities is a remedy. That links it up. So that means people giving birth in facility is important. So okay, fine. People giving birth in facility is important. What about the topic the person want to work on, which is what? Experience. Then he went on to say that the experience people get when they deliver in facility influence them whether they will come to the facility or what or not. The driver for people delivering at the facility, then one of the crucial one is the attitude or the experience that people get at that place. Then he went on to try to tell us what a positive experience will do and what a negative experience will do. So you see there's a flow, and the person has actually put us straight into why the topic is what important.
So that's the justification.
Yeah, it's more like a justification. That's why, in actual fact, when you are writing something for publication, though, you don't need to be giving those sessions, because the introduction and all those things, you are trying to tell us there is a problem and why there is importance for you to do what your work. In actual fact, most of the things that we have been sessioning, especially when we get to the methodology, they are not supposed to be in sessions. In actual fact,
sample size.
Yes. No, yeah, those are supposed to inform you whilst you are writing, so that we can actually pinpoint them. So whilst you are writing an introduction, these are the things that should come into your mind. That as we are writing, we should be introduced to the topic. And by the time we finish reading, we should know which is the problem and why you want to what you want to do what you want to do. I hope you are getting me. So if you remember the first paper that we reviewed, when we finished, we really didn't understand what the person wanted to do.
Yeah.
Have you realized it? Yeah. We didn't really understand why the need for the epidemiology in universities, because the writer didn't take us on that particular journey. But this, after reading the introduction, it's clear that it's an important subject, because if people are dying and going to the hospital is what will save them, and why they are not going to the hospital is because of what the attitude of the people. Then it's important that we look at the experiences that people are having at that place. So by the virtue of looking at the experience people are having at that particular hospital, if we realize that something is wrong, if we change it, more people will go to the hospital to deliver. I hope you are getting it. So it makes it worth wasting your time on as a project work. So just by reading the introduction, you may be blunt, you don't need to be a midwife. But by reading the introduction, you realize that you know why the person wants to do what he wants to do. Hello?
Hi.
All right. So let's go to the problem statements and then see what is actually there.
What has been up to this point?
Can we continue?
Why?
Problem statements.
Why?
Problem statement, please. There has been. This makes the editing more difficult.
Yes,
it's more the editing. There has been growing concern about falling standards of healthcare in recent times, coupled with an equally growing demand from the general public for improvements in the service provided in our health institutions. Satisfaction with maternity service, especially care during labor and birth, have become increasingly important to healthcare providers, administrators, and policy makers. And you have the citation. Patients or clients expect health workers to provide quality service with a high sense of friendliness when working. According to Kasharo and Kamal
2013, better communication, adequate amount of the carer's time dedicated to patient, and the woman having control over her own care are among the factors that contribute to improved birth experience among mothers. Problem statements. Traditionally, national and international clinical measures of the quality of care have been limited to the maternal and perinatal mortality and mobility rates. Hello. All the things we read at the top there is not actually creating a problem. Now let's see. He was just creating an importance. Let's see how this one flows. Traditionally, national and international clinical measures of the quality of care have been limited to the maternal and perinatal mortality and mobility rates. The need for a complementary patient-centered measure of quality has led to the acceptance of the mother's satisfaction during the birthing process as the indicator of choice in the evaluation of the quality of maternity service. Hello. I'm repeating the place again. Traditionally, national and international clinical measures of the quality of care have been limited to the maternal and perinatal mortality and mobility rates. The need for a complementary patient-centered measure of quality has led to the acceptance of the mother's satisfaction during the birthing process as the indicator of choice in the evaluation of the quality of maternal service. Patient satisfaction is considered to be an outcome of the delivery of health care service as well as a measure of its quality, and enhanced satisfaction has been identified as a goal for improvement in health care. Assessing outcomes has merit both an indicator of the effectiveness of different interventions and as part of a monitoring system directed to improving quality of care as well as detecting its deterioration. Assessment of satisfaction with the mother's birth experience and maternity service is crucial, and psychometrically sound measures are needed if this is to inform health practices. I think my reading is becoming somewhere. Yeah. Let's continue. A number of instruments have been developed to assess women's satisfaction with intrapartum care and childbirth, and the understanding of the mother's experience of institutional childbirth has improved considerably over recent decades in other jurisdictions. However, the information on maternal experience with institutional birth is death in our setting, and the few attempts on this subject found in the literature did not employ standardized, internationally validated questionnaires. Hello. This is where the problem is being created. So the person has made us appreciate the fact that apart from using the maternal mortality and morbidity rates, there is a need for a complementary, assessment of quality of care. That should be patient-centered. And he has given us the reasons and the good side of it. Then now he comes and say that in our setting, there is not enough data on that. The word that he has used at that place is just like the one we saw the last time. Like, pesity. This one, that means lack. Yeah. It also means lack. Yeah, insufficient. So he has talked about why there is a need for all this, and the fact that in other jurisdictions there have been improvement. Then he come and say that, however, information on maternal experience with institutional birth is deaf in our setting, and the few attempts on this subject found in the literature did not employ standardized, internationally validated questionnaire or instruments. In the literature, because the person is being specific to a particular location. Yeah. In this particular case, rather in the setting. Yeah. Yeah. So in this case, in the literature, that is in the Ghanaian literature, or in the literature of the setting he is talking about. Yeah. Yeah, did not employ standardized, internationally validated questionnaire. Can you be loud so that we can capture where your problem is?
My problem is with the previous paragraph.
What's your problem?
The thing is about birth, let's say
birth experience, yeah.
But they seem to be talking about patient-related experience. Yeah,
birth experience is a patient. So the birth is a patient. They are patient, they are clients. Yeah.
I understand.
So if it was clients,
they are patient. You know, at a place he put patient and clients, stroke clients. Yeah. But in a hospital, everybody that goes for a service is considered as a patient. Semantics. They are pregnant. Pregnancy sometimes is considered as a disease. Yeah. What?
The outcome of disability. The outcome of disability.
You people, they will take you on. Oh, the woman rights people will take you on. Okay, so you see for here, you see he puts patient, stroke, what? Clients. Yeah.
You go down there.
Papa, what's your problem? You don't want the patient.
What?
I saw the indent. I think that I understand.
You saw the
paragraph.
The paragraph being indented. That is a style for where the thesis was actually being sent. So that's the style. So I think it's a KNUST thesis, but it's department on department basis. Yes, you say what?
It's a paragraph in style. Some will give double space.
Can we move on because of the time so that later we can? Alright, so this is where we are. Hello. So the person is saying that even though there are psychometrically sound instruments that have been developed in our setting, even the people that have attempted that particular subjects, they didn't use those internationally validated questionnaires. Okay, then let's continue. So now the person is saying, yes.
Is the point, like a number of instruments have been developed, then it comes to talk about standardized validated questionnaires. So I want to know the relation. What's it trying to do?
Look at it. Look at what he's doing. A number of instruments have been developed to assess women's satisfaction with intrapartum care. Yeah, instrument means questionnaire. Yeah, that is all that you wanted. Okay, all right. So you could have catch it from here. Questionnaires or instruments. Okay. Let's continue. Right. So the person is saying that Now he's creating the problem itself. All right. So using a modified woman's view of birth labor satisfaction questionnaire 4. Hello. Using a modified woman's views of birth labor satisfaction questionnaire 4. That is WOMBLSQ4. This study seeks to evaluate in a standardized way women birth experience with care during labor, birth, and the lying-in period, and explore mothers' view on the care they receive during a recent labor, delivery, and the immediate lying-in period at the University of Ghana Hospital in Accra. So you see, the whole essence of the person's problem statement is method. Yes, because he thinks that even for people who have attempted the question, the topic, he didn't use a standardized way of doing it. So he is going to use a standardized way of doing it, an internationally validated questionnaire to do it. Hello. And do you agree that he has a problem he wants to tackle?
But if the focus is on using a standardized questionnaire, I don't see it in the title.
Yeah. You would have loved to see using that thing, but I told you this might not be the final word because of the errors I've been seeing. I think I've seen the final word somewhere that had certain things in it. But you don't, in actual fact, you don't need to put the questionnaire in it. It would have been cool if you want to put it. Sometimes
it communicates an idea.
Yeah, he's doing the woman's birth experience. He's doing the woman's birth experience at a particular hospital. Are you getting it? Yes, but he's using a standardized way of doing it. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
I don't think if the method that he is using doesn't come in a title, it is not a problem for me.
Couch the problem such a way that the focus now is on the standardized questionnaire. We get it.
But don't forget the problems were two, even though it was stated as one. One, there is lack of.
Already there is no literature.
There is lack. Before the people that have attempted, are you getting it? So he's providing first women's birth experience at the hospital, but he's going to do it also in a standardized way.
Probably maybe those who have attempted it, the standard questionnaire may not be applicable in their setting. Maybe some of the items in the questionnaire.
That is a conjecture. You are trying to assume. But if there is an internationally validated way of doing something, no, listen. This one is somebody writing something, and he giving an excuse for what he is doing. Are you getting it? He says he has said through the Ghanaian literature, and then he is not having enough, or even the ones that he saw, they didn't do it with what? Standardized questionnaire. Because he thinks there are standardized questionnaire available. Don't forget the first part of the statement that many of those has been what? Developed. Now, so you realize with he's talking about what? His or hers. He's talking about a modified standardized questionnaire. So if you take a standardized questionnaire, you can modify it to suit your what? Your what do you call it? Your setting, yes. But there are certain things, there's a standardized way of doing it. There's a standardized way of doing it. If you don't do it that way, you cannot compare your outcome with international what do you call it? And you think this kind of things, I think they are standardized way. Like he said that the maternal birth and death or something. Is what mortality rate is one way of what assessing quality. but a complementary way is this way. But
patient-centered.
Yeah, the patient-centered is the complementary way. But the complementary way, there are standardized way of doing it. Are you getting it? But also, let me take the next time, the next topic after this, we'll be developing instruments. We'll be developing instruments.
Instrument
as in questionnaire, yes. So instrument, measure, skills, questionnaire, they are almost virtually the same. They are used synonymously. We'll be looking at how to develop them. The problem with most of our work in actual fact has been at that particular side. We say the devil is in the details. They will give a nice topic, but if you look at the questions that they are asking, it doesn't get them what they really want. Yes, garbage in, garbage out. Are you getting it? Yeah. When it comes to actually developing of psychometries, there are ways of doing them. You don't just sit down on your desk, scribble something, and then just go and distributing it to people. Most of the questionnaires we have been using, we don't take it through the right process of what? Developing questionnaire. When you do a questionnaire, the validation processes. Are you getting it? You pre-test, then after pre-test, now you now see what you get, doing surface validity, construct validity, and all the other things that you need to do. Hello?
Hi.
Yes. So in most cases, we have seen people have a nice topic, but when they finish, the story cannot be told because the instruments are not correct. All right. So as for me, I am an advocate of the fact that if there is standardized instrument for it, at worst, look at that standardized instrument and then what? Modify it to suit yours. Because there are certain things you cannot sit on your decks and be able to get all those things in your head.
Yeah, because a lot more goes into the standardized ones. Usually there are institutions that come together to look at such standardized work. So if you take it and you want to use it as it is, strongly is allowed.
But there have been instances where you finish collecting your data and you realize that I should have added this.
Yeah.
So you can edit it.
You can edit it. So you are allowed to
No, I mean when you have a standardized data, you can
edit, you can do it, and then.
Like he's saying a modified, for example, let's say that a standardized questionnaire is saying that, what do you call it? What is your experience at the hospital during winter?
There's no winter to.
Oh, but then I'm time.
So in the context that we are, there is no winter. So it means you need to be modified, either taken out or modified to suit the context.
I used a standardized questionnaire. And then when I was doing my project long essay, like I used a standardized questionnaire, and then I realized that most of the things were not applicable in Ghana, or like they did not exist.